So that was our country yesterday. So that was it, man. Wow, for those of you that say that you tune into the Burt Show not for politics, you're going to get some today. So I'll just let you guys know there are going to be a couple of segments where, as I've told you guys before in the past, that you got 4, 5, 6 people that work on a show, and we talk about what is going on in our lives. And each and every one of us, and each and every one of you guys listening, was affected in one way or another by everything that happened in Washington, D.C. yesterday. And it's probably impossible for us to put all of our thoughts into just one segment, so we'll spread them out over the show today. But man, I can't see any way to start the show without sharing what we saw yesterday in Washington, D.C. And man, I went on Instagram yesterday just to see how people were feeling about it and see if they were feeling the same kind of sadness that I was watching everything unfold on the Capitol, when you had thousands of people that stormed the Capitol yesterday and somehow, some way got into the Capitol, which is another conversation, I guess, that we'll have this morning also. And the very first Instagram account I saw was Davi's, who really was sharing the same feelings I was feeling yesterday. As I was watching this yesterday, man, I literally was crying in front of my TV, man. I'm like, this is my country right here. How many times have I tuned in to the news over the course of my life and seen all this madness happening in other countries, always assuming it would never, ever happen in the country that I love so much. And then yesterday, seeing a mob of angry people climb upon and disrespect the deepest symbol that we have for democracy in the country yesterday, tore me up to tears. And Davi's TikTok/Instagram, whatever it was yesterday, basically said something like, I promised myself I wasn't going to cry in January, and there you were, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to do this thing called Dry January, wherein I just don't cry for the whole month. And I know a lot of other people are trying not to drink, and that was probably a struggle bus yesterday too. Yeah, how can you not? How can you not just look at that and cry? I've got friends in Canada that are like, I turned on the news and I thought I was looking at a different country. I didn't realize that was the United States. I don't know. I don't know what I can say without getting in trouble at this point, or without people tuning out. But what is there left to say? It is the biggest embarrassment like I've ever experienced, and it sucked because, like, yesterday I was starting to be really proud of my state, like really excited for the future and proud of my state, and then it was just followed with being really embarrassed to be an American.
Yeah, there was a definite feeling of embarrassment. I was getting texts from around the country and from friends around the world also saying that, is this really happening? It did feel embarrassing, right? Because I guess I have some kind of American arrogance to me that feels like that our country wasn't capable, that our country isn't capable of, really following non-facts in such a way. You know, a lot of people, yesterday I heard, putting this on the president, and I certainly wouldn't say that he is completely void of fault with some of the words he was using, not only yesterday, but over the course of the last couple of years. But I also am a big fan of personal responsibility. So, yeah, while the words were certainly inciting, you have a personal responsibility, and you don't have to storm the capital of the very country that you claim to love. So my emotions were all over the place yesterday. Kristen, how about you?
I mean, I woke up this morning and the first thing was, that didn't happen, right? Like, I really honestly, I'm like, that there's no way that happened, and that happened here. It was just like, I was incredulous. Like, I'm watching, and you're not really believing what you're seeing. And there's a level of sadness, there's a level of anger, there is a level of embarrassment. As you're taking all of this imagery in. And, you know, Bart and I were just talking throughout the entire day as everything is unfolding it, because you're basically watching, we watched it unfold in real time as all of this is happening, like from, you know, President Trump's rally to people going to the Capitol and then getting past barricades and then actually breaking into the Capitol and then getting to the chambers and watching the senators and congressmen and women and staffers wearing gas masks and seeking shelter within. It was surreal. And then as I'm sitting here watching this and being just sorely disappointed and hurt and shocked, I'm trying to remind myself this is the fringe. Like, this is not the majority. It doesn't excuse, I mean, this is wrong, period, what we're watching. But that this is not everyone. This is just a small percentage. However, it is still so disappointing and so hurtful to see that there are people who were capable of that, and that there was multiple deaths.
Yeah.
I mean, a woman died. Yeah, a woman died. A woman was shot and died, who was shot inside the Capitol, and then there were 3 other that were medical emergencies that happened. So the whole thing is just, and I mean, and there's so many layers, and I know we're going to get through this aside from the imagery and what we saw in the sheer facts of what went down. But how did this happen? It's what this would have looked like had it been somebody different. That was, I mean, there's a lot to unpack, and it was a bad day yesterday. It was a sad day yesterday.
I don't know if you guys had the sense yesterday as I was watching this all, and I went through a bunch of emotions yesterday, and I sat up late for me yesterday watching when Congress reconvened, and they were doing the whole Electoral College dance last night.
Which nobody ever watches. Normally that just airs on C-SPAN and like 6 people watch it, and that's it.
Yeah, I watched a lot of it last night, and my emotions changed throughout the night watching it, actually feeling more hopeful, which I'll get to later. I don't know what my point was. Hey, Jody, good morning. You're on the Burt Show. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Jody.
Hey. I just wanted to call. I'm a U.S. veteran. I served 10 years in the Army, and my husband served 20. Yesterday, if you've ever been to the Middle East or Central America, living like that is something the American people do not want. We've not been at war, and I've been in situations where you have to take cover just walking down the street. That is not a place we want to be, and it saddened me that we went through that yesterday. People don't like our United States is an amazing place, and if we go to something like that, trust me, this is not something that you want to live through every day, because this is something where you feel scared to even walk down the street. I've been there, and that is not something we want to go towards. And it really, truly saddens me. And I'm like you, Bert. I listened to the speeches and stuff, and it did make me feel a little bit more hopeful. Very, very sad day for America. That's all I have to say, and I just wanted to say that.
Appreciate you, calling. I want us all to get a say today. We all have a voice here. We're all feeling really strongly about it. Mo?
Yeah, it's an emotional day. It's an emotional day. I gathered around with my family. We watched it all day. A lot of questions, a lot of concerns. Obviously, you think of the differences, obviously, in how the citizens of this country are treated in certain situations, and how the Capitol rioters were treated, if that's what you want to call it. And I think of my people and how we were treated when we attempted to protest peacefully, and how that was handled. And it's not only black people. You know, you go Muslim, you go around. To me, what else can you say? What else needs to be said? You see it plain as day. I mean, I really couldn't put together what I was seeing. I was seeing officers take selfies with people in the Capitol, like as they're breaching the Capitol. I don't understand it. I mean, it makes me wonder, honestly. For me personally, it takes me back to Colin Kaepernick. That's where it takes me, and how he was treated for taking a knee like that. Was that really about the military? Is it really about Blue Lives Matter? or is it about the hate? Because people keep saying that they can't believe this is happening, but you should be able to believe that this is happening, because hate is real, and this is unfortunately where we are. This is what it is, and I don't think you can deny it any further at this point.
I certainly did have the thought yesterday, Mo, that had there been that many black people that were on the nation's mall yesterday leading up to the Capitol, would security have looked the same as it did yesterday when you had a bunch of white people that were out there that were getting awfully close to the Capitol? You got to remember, I used to live in Washington, D.C. I've been on those steps. I've been in that rotunda dozens of times. I couldn't believe that it was able to be breached by the lack of police presence there. And I certainly had the thought yesterday that if there are thousands of black people out of the Capitol, would the police presence have looked the same, or would it have been way heavier, Mo?
There was a ton of pictures floating around of what it looked like at a Black Lives Matter protest, and it was soldiers everywhere with masks and big guns ready to go to war, standing on those same steps that the police were helping people down, holding their hands and helping them to leave the Capitol after breaching. It would not have looked like that. And as a black man, I can't even imagine being in Nancy Pelosi's desk with my feet on her desk, just relaxing with no mask, and what would happen to me, and how I can guarantee you I wouldn't have made it home safely that night. Guarantee it.
Davi?
Just for reference, because I looked this up yesterday, 14,000 people were arrested during the George Floyd protests. They went on for like a month or more, but 14,000 people arrested. And I saw police officers helping little ladies down the steps of the Capitol yesterday with their Trump beanies on, just helping them out, taking selfies. Just for reference. Fun fact.
Here is Abigail. Good morning. You are part of the Burt Show, Abigail.
Hi, I just wanted to call in about the narrative being painted that this is not America. This is literally what America has been built on, white supremacy, and it's going to keep going on until something changes. This is what people of color has been saying for forever, and we're not surprised that this happened. Thank you.
I appreciate you calling. Cass, where you at?
I think it's clear that we all knew that America was sick in some ways, and now we can see how deep the disease is. It's broken, but if one thing America is good at, it's taking a situation and building hope, and that's when you start to see people rallying. You look for the helpers, and I know it's hard to see this right now, but I truly believe last night is going to bring a lot of people together. We already saw a lot of Republicans who are going to try and overturn the Electoral College votes change their minds. And I think it's a step, actually, in building unity with this country, because now we can see that there is a real problem, and it's not just political divisiveness anymore. People are taking armed action and breaching federal buildings, and it's not okay. But we are going to come together, because now people, it's a wake-up call. This was America's wake-up call that things are going south real fast, and we're going to turn the ship around. I know we are.
Well, I feel like the ship has been going south for a while here. I do agree with you that this might have been rock bottom for us as a country politically yesterday. And I had a lot of the same feelings that you're talking about right now as I continue to watch congressperson after congressperson speak in a way that I expect congresspeople to talk, with the values that they were talking with yesterday that we'll get into later. But I did feel that. And I even tweeted last night, look, I'm not going to be part of this hate. I am not going to be part of this problem. I feel deeply saddened by what I'm seeing on the Capitol. But the oxygen of the fringe is to get you all upset and continue to hate each other. And I just will not be part of that. That is me being a foot soldier in this war.
This is The Burt Show.